Christopher Walsh from Bama Central with just a minute. And talk of Tuscaloosa right now is men's basketball. And obviously, fans are a little bit disappointed. The Crimson Tide is not pulling out games the way, like it did last year. And, this just isn't what everyone expected. Granted, the SEC is just brutal this season, and the schedule is only get tougher. I mean, Alabama's got number 4 Baylor, followed by number 1 Auburn, and then number 12 Kentucky coming up. Yikes. So there's a sense of urgency for turning things around. And you hear the words that are being used to describe what's wrong with this team, and they usually are something like inconsistency, maturity, chemistry. They're all accurate. There's something missing with this team. Trying to pin down, though, what this team is missing the most, well, all we have to do is really look at last year's roster. I mean, you had Josh Primo, you had Jordan Bruner, you had Alex Reese, you had John Petty Jr. These are guys who consistently, for the most part, hit three-pointers. And this season, Alabama is shooting 30.92% from beyond the arc. That's 296th out of 350 teams. Just, it makes people kind of scratch their heads. But look, here's the thing that Alabama is actually missing the most. And it's the player who, he did everything. I mean, he was the glue for last year. He had 947 career points, 630 rebounds, 285 assists, 167 steals, 98 blocks during his career. But the thing that really stood out were the blue-collar points that Nate Oates calls the hard hat award. And this guy dominated those statistics. Deflections, floor dives, taking charges and so forth. And, of course, we're talking about Herb Jones. Alabama had a lot of good players last year, but he was really the key. And they don't have that kind of Herb Jones kind of player this year. Maybe somebody will step up and help fill that role. We don't know. It's only January. There's still a little time, but time is definitely beginning to run out. This team is better than it looks. It still has a chance to turn things around. But when you hear about people talk about leadership and leading by example and how it translates to the floor or the field and success, well, you might never see a better example of what kind of difference one player can make.